The Feast Finders, Adventure 7, The Final Return, Atonement, and the King's Judgment. This adventure is part of the Feast Finders collection and can be found in our 3-book series on Amazon. Link is in the description. Enjoy! Rain tapped gently on the clubhouse roof as Zeke, Ava, and Drew sat around their feast calendar. Today felt quieter than usual. Ava traced her finger down the list of God's special days. Yom Kippur, she said slowly, the Day of Atonement. Drew looked up from his sketch pad. That one sounds kinda serious. Zeke opened his Bible and nodded. It is. On this day, the high priest went into the holiest part of the tabernacle, but only once a year. Why? Ava asked. What happened there? Zeke pointed to the verse. It was about making the people clean, getting rid of all the bad stuff. Ava sat up. Wait, isn't that what Jesus already did on Passover? Drew scratched his head. Yeah, so why do we need this one? Zeke paused, thinking, maybe this feast shows what happens when people don't want to be cleaned. Zeke turned to another page in his Bible. Look, God told the priest to take 2 goats on this day. Ava leaned in. What for? One was for the Lord, Zeke said. It was given as a sacrifice. And the other one? Drew asked. Zeke read slowly, eyebrows raised. The other one was sent away into the wilderness, far, far from the people. Drew blinked. Why would they do that? Ava whispered. It's like they were getting rid of something, like for good. Zeke nodded. Maybe this feast isn't just about cleaning people. Maybe it's about removing everything that doesn't belong. A hush filled the clubhouse. Then Ava stood up and smiled. There's only one way to find out. Zeke opened the Bible to Leviticus 16. The 3 of them placed their hands on the open page and spoke the words together. Word of God, so pure and true, reveal what's right for us to do. Golden light shimmered around them. The clubhouse faded. In its place stood a wide, open space with flapping curtains and glowing oil lamps. The smell of incense filled the air. Are we in the tabernacle? Drew whispered. Men in white linen moved carefully through the space. One wore special clothes, colourful and detailed, with a golden plate across his chest. Zeke's eyes widened. That's the high priest. The kids watched as he stood before 2 goats, one white, one speckled. He cast lots, small stones with markings. One goat was led away gently by a priest. The other remained. Ava clutched her notebook. That must be the one they send into the wilderness. The people stood silently, watching the moment unfold. No music, no dancing, just quiet and waiting. This feast feels different, Ava whispered. Zeke nodded. It's not about celebration, it's about something big. The kid stood to the side, watching the high priest walk slowly toward the second goat, the one still waiting. He placed both hands on its head. Zeke read from a nearby scroll. He's confessing all the people's sins over this one. The priest whispered every wrong deed, every act of rebellion, every unclean thought, pressing them symbolically onto the goat. Ava's eyes grew wide. It's like all their mistakes are being loaded onto him. A man took the rope tied to the goat's neck and began leading it out of the camp. Drew watched as the goat was taken farther and farther away. Where's he going? Into the wilderness, Zeke said softly, far away from the people. Ava whispered, so the sins go too. Zeke nodded. The goat didn't cover their sin, it carried it away. And now, Ava added, the camp is clean. As the scapegoat disappeared into the wilderness, a sudden wind swept through the tabernacle court. The kids looked up, dust swirling, the lampstands flickering. "Is this part of the feast?" Drew asked, gripping his sling bag. The wind grew stronger. The air shimmered with golden light. The tabernacle blurred, then vanished. In a blink, they were standing on a rocky hillside, no longer in the past, but in something that felt future. Below them stretched a massive valley filled with soldiers in armor, banners snapping in the wind. Above it all stood a rider on a white horse, shining like lightning. His eyes blazed like fire. "That's him," Zeke whispered. "That's Yeshua, Jesus." Drew leaned closer. "Why, Yeshua is Jesus." Zeke nodded. "It's how they said his name in Bible times." Ava held her breath. "He's not coming to suffer this time." "No," Zeke said, voice steady. "He's coming as king and judge." Thunder rolled across the sky. The white horse galloped forward, its rider clothed in robes dipped in red, with a golden glow all around him. Behind him, thousands more followed, riding in perfect unity. Their robes were white as snow. "It's an army," Ava whispered, "but they're not here to take land." Zeke nodded. "They're here to take back truth." Down below, the armies of the earth gathered, banners of darkness, weapons raised high. Drew's voice was barely a whisper. "They're going to fight him." Zeke swallowed hard. "They're going to try." Then, with a sound like rushing wind, the rider spoke, and from his mouth came a sword of light. It wasn't metal, it was his word. And when he spoke, the lies shattered. The armies fell, and justice filled the earth like rain. The valley that once thundered with war was now silent. The armies that had stood against the king were gone. Ava held her hands to her heart. "That was so fast." "He didn't need to lift a sword," Zeke said. "His words were enough." The king, Yeshua, remained seated on his horse, steady and victorious. Drew stared at the horizon. Why would anyone try to fight him? Zeke shook his head. They didn't want his truth. They chose lies instead. Ava added softly, "He gave them so many chances." "But they wouldn't listen," Zeke finished. A soft wind passed over the kids, full of peace and weight at the same time. There was no celebration here, only quiet and justice. "Now the world is clean," Ava whispered, "just like the camp after the goat was sent away." Just as the valley quieted, the ground beneath them rumbled. The kids turned to see another figure, not shining like the king, but dark and twisted. Chains clinked as an angel stepped forward, holding a great key and a heavy chain of light. "Who's that?" Drew whispered. Zeke's face grew serious. "That's the one who's been lying to the world all along." "Satan," Ava whispered, "the enemy of God." The angel bound him with glowing chains. The dark figure didn't fight. He couldn't. He was dragged away, far from the people, far from the world, just like the goat in the wilderness. "He's the real scapegoat," Zeke said. "The one who's cast out." Ava nodded. "No more tricks, no more lies." And just like that, he was gone. The clouds parted. Sunlight poured over the valley like gold. The rider on the white horse dismounted, stepping gently onto the earth. No more armies, no more enemies. Only the king and those who belonged to him. Ava whispered, "He's staying." Zeke smiled. He didn't just come to fight, he came to reign. The people who had followed him gathered around. Some had tears of joy, others lifted their hands in worship. There were no thrones or palaces, just peace. A stillness that made the whole world feel new again. "This is just the beginning," Zeke said. "Now the king can set everything right." Drew added, "And we get to be part of it." The king looked out over the land. His robe flowed in the breeze. His eyes were kind but strong. The world around him was finally still. Ava whispered, "This is what the whole world's been waiting for." Zeke nodded. "The darkness is gone. The earth is clean again. Now the king can stay," Drew said softly, "and rule with truth." The kids stood still, hearts full. Not afraid, not sad, but peaceful, like the world had taken its first deep breath in a long time. Zeke turned to the others. "Now I understand why this feast matters." "It's not about what was lost," Ava said. "It's about what remains." They didn't know exactly how long they stood there, but they could feel it. Something had ended, and something even greater had just begun. The golden glow faded. Soft light filled the clubhouse again. Their feast calendar rustled on the wall as a breeze slipped through the window. "We're back," Drew whispered, as if unsure it was real. Zeke brushed dust from his jeans and clutched his notebook, flipping it open to a fresh page. His pen was already moving. The room felt the same, and yet different. "That was the most serious feast we've seen," Ava said quietly. Zeke nodded. "It wasn't about parties or bread or trumpets. It was about truth," Drew added, "and getting rid of everything that didn't belong." The Bible sat open between them, still glowing faintly. Zeke reached for a pen and added a symbol to the feast calendar. He wrote beside it, "Atonement, the king returns." "Now the world is ready," Ava said, her voice soft but strong. "Ready for what?" Drew asked. A small smile spread across Zeke's face. "Ready for the king to move in."
Today we saw something serious. Not candy, not costumes, not a celebration with music and dancing. This feast was quiet. This feast was huge. We watched 2 goats. One stayed behind and was set apart for the Lord. One was led far away, carrying the people's sin into the wilderness. But it wasn't just about goats. It was about what happens when people don't want God's help. It was about the final return of the king. We saw Yeshua, Jesus, riding on a white horse, not as a servant, not as a baby, but as the King of Kings. He spoke and armies fell. He ruled and the enemy was removed. The world became clean again. I used to think judgment was scary, but now I see. It's God getting rid of everything that hurts people. It's Him preparing the world to be filled with peace. Now that the darkness is gone, the king can stay, and we're almost ready for the greatest feast of all, Zeke.
Thanks for watching. If you like this adventure, there's so much more waiting for you. The full Color Feast Finders books and matching coloring books are available now on Amazon, perfect for digging deeper and bringing each feast to life. While you're here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss the next big truth mission.